Hello. My name is Alexander Borschel, and I've been practicing martial arts for about 25 years, beginning when I was 4. Um, and I've dabbled in many different martial arts. I began with Taekwondo, and I branched off into 4 different styles of it, reaching the highest rank of third dan. Now, that was, gosh, 16 years ago when I got third dan. And I didn't want to deal with the politics that was associated with the WTF organization, so I decided to leave and pursue other martial arts. Kendo, Kenjutsu. I practiced, oh my lord, there's a list. Muay Thai, Kempo, Shotokan, which is a derivation of Jungkook, and so on and so forth. I've been around the block. I'm currently in the Middle East, so I can practice Israeli Krav Maga since my experience is American Krav Maga. So I like the idea of taking a style and learning as much as possible. Now, what this brings me to is, in my history, with a group of other individuals, we founded the Northern Virginia Community College Martial Arts Alliance. What a mouthful. Anyways, this was something that was rather remarkable. We not only secured the space on a community college property, but we were allowed basic control to practice our martial arts. Now, we took into account safety precautions. We had a whole closet full of helmets and shields and armor and all sorts of material that could be used. We had a heavy bag. We even built a ring. The space was actually larger than some dojos that I've taught at in the United States, which can be quite limited in size, which can make it difficult to do the forms. Now, this martial arts club was based on a number of principles. No matter what martial arts style you practice, no matter what experience level you are, from expert to novice to brand new, fresh off the street, you like what you saw, we were willing to include you. And one of the neatest thing about this is it was open 24/7. It was well equipped. It was open to every national who could practice martial arts that would join us, and we experimented in phenomenal ways. This is how I became introduced to Wing Chun. This is how I became introduced to Tai Chi Chuan. This is how I became introduced to Xing Yi, developing better Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, among other things. At one week we might do Shotokan, the next week we might do Taekwondo, the next week we might do boxing, the next week we might do Jiu-Jitsu, next week we might do Aikido. We had numerous world champions come through, which was mind-blowing to me that this small group would grow to such a point that even O Sensei's final student in the DC area paid us a visit as a seminar. So we were a very legitimate school until we graduated out of it. But what this inspired me is that no matter where a martial artist goes, we can create a space that allows us to train. There's that cliche that martial arts should be included in all aspects of life, and this is something that is absolutely true, no matter how tired we get of hearing of it. And because of this, no matter where I go, my dream is to create centers that are open 24/7, hopefully on a volunteer basis. Of course, the kinks can be worked out along the way, but that it's equipped for anybody of any martial arts style that wishes to train with us. I want it to become an organization that fosters not competition necessarily outside of me pushing myself against another or against myself so that I can improve. And because of this, I believe that within the next 20 to 30 years, it's entirely possible that these centers could be not only created, but coordinated so that there's a kind of network so that martial artists can not only travel, but practice and get quality education. Because a lot of what we learn, while it's very interesting, especially the history, and I say that as a history major, not all of it actually stands up to practical self-defense. And what I would like to do is to make sure that we take the best styles of martial arts and the best teachers, and we learn how to work together so that we can actually share that information. There's been too many centuries of people claiming that my martial arts is better than this one, my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu can kick this person's ass, Muay Thai kick, etc., etc., etc. It doesn't work like that. It depends on the fighter. It depends on the student. And this is why one of the philosophies that I learned best is that it's not about technique. While this is something that is crucial, if you develop yourself spiritually as a martial artist, you will find that the techniques fall into place. Especially the harder you work, Now, of course, there's always the practice makes perfect, but in these centers, you have guides to help correct you on what is not being done correctly. And what I like is the idea of an international organization that works together to foster martial arts, not just communication, but cooperation. I know from the martial arts club that across the many, many styles that were introduced, we very, very, very rarely had any kind of issue. So I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate this. This is the goal of the channel, at least from the martial aspect. These are my dreams in the long term for what can be done with martial arts to make it a more communal organization for everybody who practices. I don't want to disparage the white belt. I don't want to disparage a master who may not be part of the WTF certification process. So I want it to be inclusive, and I want it to be welcoming, and I want it to be set up so that anybody pursuing martial arts has the opportunity to do so. So I apologize, this went over 2 to 3 minutes, but I truly believe this is something important that has to change in martial arts, not only in the United States, but frankly around the world. I'm not talking about necessarily regulation, I'm talking about goodwill so that we can practice with each other as much as possible so that we can develop martial arts further. It's not like what we learned 2,000 years ago is what exactly we're doing today. So I appreciate, again, your attention, and I hope this leaves you with some thoughts about what the goals are for creating these kind of centers. Because it's entirely possible. I've done it in the United States. It was successful. The only reason it closed is because we graduated out and we spread out across the country. So I'm not talking about clubs that are after schools. I'm talking about a club that is devoted to being a martial arts center that doesn't charge. It focuses purely on improving technique and improving a person and improving their ability to use martial arts. This is what a lot of people forget. It's not about fighting. It's about improving oneself. And as a byproduct of that, you do become a better able martial artist and fighter. So I just want to thank you again for the time, and I hope you guys have a great evening.